Hey guys, welcome back to Around the Yard. Today we're gonna get the wood furnace fired up. Not quite the first fire of 2025, but pretty darn close. So, kind of gonna go through what I've learned with this thing over the last couple of years. What I like to start with is two bigger pieces of wood, and I put them on either side in the firebox here. So that's how we start. So one down one side, one down the other. Then I'm going to put a newspaper bed down the middle. I'm going to put two fire starters in there, followed by some Fatwood to bridge between these two pieces. And then I'm going to stack up some kindling, which I've got right here in this bucket. So this is kind of all the offcuts and the feathers off of the box wedge. Okay, so we get a good pile of that going with some of this little bit bigger stuff, and then we're going to finish out with some box wedge pieces, or kind of sort the stack here. So this is all boxwood, this is all box wedge oak, so this all went through the 35 SHO. So you can see, you know, 4x4, 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 right? And then there's some triangles and different things in there. So we'll try and get a good mix of that to sit on the fire. So I'm going to go ahead and set you guys up here again, hopefully. There we go. All I'm doing is balling up newspaper and throwing it down the middle. I find the tighter the ball of newspaper, the easier that it supports the fire starter later. And what I'm using for fire starter is kind of those little Dixie cups filled with sawdust and paraffin wax or soy wax. All right, so there's my newspaper bed. It's about even with the logs, and these can be round or triangles or whatever you guys have. I just put two big pieces of fuel on either side. That's the key. Okay, next up, here's little cups. So two of these go into the newspaper bed. And what I like to do with those is put them one about 3 or 4 inches in, okay, to that one, then skip a few inches, maybe 5 or 6, put the second one in, so they're kind of right in the heart of that. That way I can light a little bit of newspaper here, it'll catch that fire starter and work back and ignite the second one. So that's kind of the game plan. All right, and next up, we take a handful of Fatwood, and I'll take a big piece and lay it kind of right next to the first fire starter. Maybe a smaller piece next to the back, another piece up front. I like to put enough in. I've got a nice bridge, and then to make sure that I've got it good and spaced out, I put a couple pieces in there front to back. So that's how I set the fuel up. I bridge it with Fatwood. That first fire starter is about here, right underneath this cross. The next one back is right through there. You guys can kind of see it. Okay. So once I've got that, then I take my feathers and we're going to drop these in. All right, there we go. Got some light in there. So there's that far fire starter. There's another one right underneath here. So I'm adding Fatwood, or excuse me, I'm adding feathers from the box wedge. Just kind of haphazardly in here a little bit, making sure we got enough airflow. So that's where like a crisscross pattern is helpful. And make sure you can see air gaps in there. Then we'll get a little bit bigger stuff. That's a little bit more gnarly, but basically what I'm trying to encourage here is tinder way down at the bottom of the fire starter. Then we've got some really good kindling in that Fatwood, and then some dry pieces, feathers, and then slowly increasing the size so that everything on the bottom ignites everything coming up. So here we've got more bigger pieces. Again, just stacking these in. They can go down the sides, they can go over the top. Really just trying to add some weight into this so that when we open this up in a little while, it's burning well, it's burning hot. So that's maybe enough of that stuff. And now we got a couple bigger pieces of fuel. So 2x3. All right, so that's what we look like. So these three pieces, those are our biggest pieces. We got a whole bunch of various size kindling, Fatwood, newspaper, and our fire starters in there. Go over here. We got a 0 temp. Our damper's closed, so we're gonna open that up. Got a little Kingsford torch. I just try and nose this in as far as I can go. Really get a flame going. Okay. The other thing I do is pull this open. Starting to get some smoke in here. Close that door. I leave this open. And then we got to add some draw. So I open the back door. That helps suck some of the smoke out. So ideally I have the door open ahead of time, but you can see the smoke pulling out. You can see the glow here. If we come outside, and I always look up and make sure we got a good draw going. So that lets me know we got good heat in the firebox. We don't have a smoke-filled basement anymore. pumping. We're looking through the ash drawer up into the firebox. So you can see that's just roaring. Now we know we got good heat. So we can probably close this door. Get the vent open. You can probably see it flicker just a little bit orange in there. We'll double check we still maintaining our draw. There you go. Good hot fire going. A lot of that smoke is that fat wood going. So that's one thing I have noticed. That does create quite a bit of smoke, but. And then here's our IBC totes. So we've got slab wood. We've got more box wedge oak. So that's all dry, ready to go. Even a few mushrooms on there. So this is the tote we just finished loading into the basement. So this is about half full. Now we got about one rung left, I'd say. And then this here is more slab wood, but more of like a kindling. So a lot of what's in here is this size stuff. If we ever run low on kindling. So we come back in here, check our temp. We're already up to about 90 degrees in the flue. So once that reaches about 250, the thermostat will turn on and we'll start blowing hot air through these two 8-inch ducts that tie into just a floor register that's actually pointed down into the basement here. So that's starting up the HotBlast wood furnace. I think it does a pretty good job. There's no more smoke down here, so by having that back door open, that kind of sucked all that smoke out. But there's our box wedge pieces. When we come back down here in a little while, we'll show you what this kind of burned down to, but those two pieces of fuel that are on either side here, those are still going to be there. And there'll be a good ash bed, coal bed going down the middle. And that's where those box wedge pieces come into play, is you can just stack them in 3 across, three or 4 high. And then as this room starts to heat up, everything that's cold in this stack, and this will take a minute to warm up because we started with kind of cold firewood, but it's about 5 below today. So this will all warm up in here. This will be 80-degree firewood by this evening, and it'll go in and burn a lot hotter, a lot easier, if we give it a little time to warm up. So as we're starting off down here, here's my thermostat, or thermometer rather. So we're about 48 degrees down here, hair under 50. We'll see what we can get her pumped up to this evening. But yeah, we're gonna keep feeding it oak. That's gonna be the game plan. Keep feeding oak. And yeah, we'll take you guys along for the rest of this fire. We're probably gonna let it burn out. We'll stoke it up tonight, but show you what's left in the morning. Usually try and stay up till 10 o'clock at night or so, maybe 11. And I'll come down and feed the furnace one last time at 10:30, 11, and try and get 12 pieces of oak in here, the nice big square pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, and get it really tight stacked, sitting on a bed of coals. And a lot of times that'll take you 7 hours, but you basically don't have any fire left. You have a bed of hot coals that are cooling down, so you have to kind of reignite everything. So the best way I've found to do that, and we can show you guys that in the morning, is get everything pre-staged down here. So 2 more pieces of fuel, a bunch of newspaper, a little bit of fat wood, your kindling all kind of ready to go in, and then you know, some more of these triangles and different things up in this area, kind of that smaller fuel wood, if you will, a little bigger than kindling. But yeah, if you kind of have everything set to go, you can open this door, put it all in on hot coals, and what you're really racing is the newspaper igniting and creating more smoke before you smoke the basement out. So but yeah, hopefully we can show you guys that in the morning. Like I said, I'll take you along for all of it, but this has worked really well the last year or so, since I did the first HotBlast video. So kind of changed what I do, and this is kind of the update to that. So hopefully you'll stick around and see what else we got going here as we keep adding wood to this today. So you can kind of see how we do it, and I'll try and remember to show you guys the thermometer, and we can see how this room heats up over the course of the day. So hope you guys have a great day. Stay warm if you're someplace cold, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Have a great day around the yard. All right, so it's been about, I don't know, half hour or so since we started this fire. That's what we got in there. So she's smoking. So I'm gonna go ahead, open up the back door. That'll help pull some of this smoke out. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to pull, since we got so much smoke, pulling down the smaller pieces of wood, this kind of stuff. Quite ready for the really hot stuff. So, all right. Nice little stir stick here. So there's our fire. We got a fair amount of smoke rolling out of the front here, so I'll try and kind of go fast, but I still kind of want to toss this in so that there's some air gaps in here so we keep burning. Here's what we got. So we're almost full up. Got plenty of smoke pouring into the basement. So you can see those vents are kind of burping smoke. So we know we're hot enough. So I can go ahead and shut this door. And then here, you can kind of see a little bit of the haze, but this is what that 8-inch necks down into. So it's an 8 to a 6 with a 10 by 14 or a 10 by 4 floor register boot on it, I think. Yeah, I think that's right. So that's all that heats the basement, but try and suck out some of that smoke. And then since we just stoked it back up again, so we're still putting out smoke. Honestly, it's probably steam at this point. It's plenty hot. Sun's going down to the west. Got our IBC totes back there from using the vertical splitter this last couple weeks. Here, there's the IBC totes that we went and picked up. So we got 6 more 330 gallons available. Yeah, there's the oak that's in the house over there. So almost half a face cord came out of this one. We still got almost a full face there, half a face there, and a third of a face here. So oh yeah, she's still burning. Here's our temp. So maybe 330 degrees. The blower motor is on. So now we should be good. It's 4:35. Probably come down here in about an hour or so and check on this. You can see I still got plenty of kindling if we need to get something going. My goal will be this next time we come down here in an hour or two, it should be burned down a little bit and we can throw some of this bigger fuel on. We'll have almost that full half face cord. So this will be more than enough wood to keep us going tonight. It's coming up on 5 o'clock. We'll have a load go in at probably 5:36. And then we'll have another load probably go in at about 8 and then another one at 10. So 3 more loads, maybe 10 pieces a piece. You know, we're gonna take, you know, what's here, there, and there. We're gonna have that whole other 2/3 of a stack plus what's on the bottom. So yeah, so as you guys can see, this goes in the next load, that goes in the next load, that goes in the next load. We still have the bottom of this plus everything from like here over full height. So that'll be more than enough wood to keep it burning all day tomorrow. And then the temps are supposed to come up a little bit, so we won't burn Monday and Tuesday because, well, we go back to work for one thing. So yeah, that's the hot blast. We'll see you guys in a little bit. Oh, here's the other thing. So we've been burning maybe half hour, 40 minutes, maybe an hour. And there we go. 56, 57 degrees down here. So we've gone up almost 10 degrees in an hour. There's my little collection of stuff. So fire starters, Fatwood, fire extinguisher, lighter, newspaper, everything you need. All right, back down at the furnace. It is a little before 6, 10 to 6. We're about 71 degrees, heading towards 72. The flue temp is cooking away at about 350. And we are ready to get some more wood in here. So we're heading over to the farm. Gonna have some stew and fresh bread with my folks. So we're gonna get this stoked up before we head over there. The other thing I do is I keep a pair of gloves down here. I hate getting slivers, and I wind up reaching my hand in the firebox quite often to move something. So these are like almost as thick as welding gloves. So I figure I'm pretty safe. I have burnt my wrists a couple of times reaching in. So all right, I'm gonna grab a couple more pieces of wood down here. I like to grab a little bit of an assortment. So I've got the box wedge pieces, maybe a little bit of a goofy one, and then I've got some triangles that'll kind of fit in the gaps. So I try and stack these in real nice. Let's see here. I've got a nice little rebar fire poker. Well, there's what we got going on. There we go. All right. So now load this up. There's me reaching in the firebox. There's a triangle spot. That's warm. Holy smokes. That's what we got in the firebox. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces of wood in there. Close that up. That should burn for another few hours. So now 6 o'clock now. We can head over to the farm, have some supper, come back about 8, 9 o'clock, and she'll be burned down again. All right, so now it's about 5 minutes to 6. We got our third load of wood in. We threw in 9 pieces, 9 4x4s, basically, a couple of triangles. So that's what we got left on the floor. So I got 4 pieces there. Basically 3 of those are the triangles that I set aside. That 4th one there, that's the last square one. That's the damage we did to the wood rack. So I took a couple more pieces off the top over there, but basically didn't touch it. So when we come back at 8, 9 o'clock tonight, I'll grab another 9, 10 pieces and we'll refill the HotBlast. That should carry us till 10 or 11 or later. Just depends what time we get back and what that looks like. If it's a lower coal bed than what you guys saw just now, we'll probably get 12 pieces in instead of 9. And then that would probably carry us closer to tomorrow morning. So yeah, we'll bring you along for the next one. But yeah, it's 70 degrees down here in the basement. This block wall is warming up, I'm sure. Yeah, it's not too cold anymore. So all right, we're off to supper. We'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, we just came home. It's 10:30 p.m. That's what's left for my coals in the bottom. So we loaded that 9 or so up and we just got hot coals. It is still about 70 degrees in the basement. So I'm going to go ahead and throw some kindling on here. Try and crisscross the pattern a little bit, and then we'll throw on some more fuel, and that'll be it for tonight. We'll see what we get in the morning. So hang on. Okay, so that's what we got in there for kindling. You can see it's starting to light and smoke already, so I gotta hurry up. All right, so that's what we got in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pieces of wood. I think I can get one more up on top there. Alright, there's the one up on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pieces. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this bottom drawer. I'll get a little more air in there. Set that up in the wood rack. So that's what we kind of put in the wood rack, is that cube. And that's how the furnace is. Here's our temp. So we dropped under 200 degrees. And then I'm going to open the basement door here. This is going to let some air in, but And then since we just stoked the fire, there you can see we're burning again, or it's at least starting to smoke. Yeah, that's how we do it. So leave this door open for a minute. It's plenty warm in here. Like I said, it's about 70 degrees Fahrenheit. There we go. So there we go. So we got about 6 to 10:30, so I have 4.5 hour burn time on that last load, and that's about the best I can do. My only hope is for a little longer burn time is to shut this and throttle this down. I can't close this off completely because I like to have the fire get fed from underneath. I think it helps the burn. And then I usually leave this one wide open. So that's kind of what I've found on this HotBlast furnace. But yeah, so far so good. Would love to get another one, but I'd really like something with a glass door on it. And now here I can see, I thought these were starting to burp a little bit of smoke. That's how I know that the fire is caught inside, and I can shut this bottom ash door. And I suppose I could open it up too, but shocked myself. Here, let's see if you guys can see. There we go. Yeah, there's a little bit of a flame wicking in there, so we're probably good to go. There's the back of that vent on the door, so plenty of air, a little bit of creosote, but not built up in front of this vent, so not built up in front of here. So there's 4 holes around the perimeter here. It'll be open. So yeah, should be in good shape. All right, see you guys in the morning.